How to change Radzen default Bootstrap style. There are two ways that I know on how to change Radzen's default Bootstrap styling. 1. Change the styling for a particular control at page level. Using this approach will leave the default Radzen styling for that particular control intact. I will not advocate using this approach because it might result in non-uniform look and feel for your application. 2. Change the styling for a particular control at application level. Using this approach on Radzen data grid control, for example, will result in all data grids in your application using the new styling. I will demonstrate the two scenarios. So first of all, I'll kickstart the tutorial by quickly creating a new database, a new SQL Server database. So now I'm connecting to SQL Server. So I right click, I right click on databases. I'll click new database on the context menu, and let me create a database called football teams DB. Let me make the owner SA, then I click on OK. So I expand databases. So I right click on tables. So I expand football teams DB. Then I'm going to right click on tables. I'll click on new table. And let me just create 2 columns in this table called team ID and team name. I save this table as teams. I save. Now I minimize this. Then I go to the desktop and I click on the link for Radzen. I'll click on Run as Administrator in the context menu that appears. I'll click here as in User Account Control. So I'll click on New Let me use server side Blazor. Let me use .NET 5 instead of .NET 6. Tips. I'll change the name of the app to Football Tips app. So my directory for this will be C Football Team app. Then I click on create button. Now I'll close the congratulations dialog. I'll go to data. I'll click on new. Before I go ahead, I want this identity. So I'll select SQL Server as my data source. On data, my server name. I right click on this, on the server name in Object Explorer of SQL Server. I will highlight the server name. I'll right click on it to copy it. I'll click OK. I'll paste it here. As for the database name, I'll go back to SQL Server. I right click on the database name in Object Explorer. I'll click rename. I right click again. I'll click copy. I'm using SQL Server authentication, so I'll enter the and I'll click Info Schema. And I'll say generate pages. dd/mm/yyyy as the date format. Let me enable optimistic concurrency. Let me enable export to Excel, enable search as I type, enable double click to edit. Then I'll click on finish. And I'll go to my applications. This is the app. The next thing I want to do is to run the app, so I click run. So now I click add. Maybe I add as now. FC. I click save. So the next thing I want to do is to change I'll click on stop. I want to use the first approach, which involves changing the styling for a particular control at page level. Radzen has closed, so I'll open it again. Let's see. I open HT page. And I want to change the color of this button. I can go to style. As for the background color, I can change it to Let me change it to this. You can see that the color is saved, is changed. But if I go to edit theme page, you can see that the change of the color of the background color on this control has not affected the button here. That is because I just did the change on that button alone. Now let's pretend for a moment that requirements has changed, and this has necessitated us to create a new table. Let me call this table countries. So I have country ID, I have country name, and Baka 50. So and let's assume that country ID will be sequentially numbered, so that means we have to set identity property for it. Now I expand tables and I click on countries. I selected it top 200 rows and I put England, Nigeria and Spain. And then the requirement has changed that we must specify which country a teams belong to. In order for us to do that, we introduce a third column to the teams table called country ID. The data type is int. For now, let us allow now. We saved teams. Now let's create relationship between the two tables. And I'll go to relationships. I'll click on add. I'll expand tables and column specification. And here I'll pick countries. Country ID, I click close, then I click save all button. Then I go back to Radzen. I'll go to data. I'll double click on data source. Then I will tell SQL Server to infer schema. Then I'll expand tables. I'll bring in the countries table and refresh teams table. I'll check generate CRUD pages, date format. This is what I'm using as my date format. Enable export to Excel and CSV. Enable search as you type. Enable double click to edit. Then I click finish. Now I need to add a new set of crop pages. So I'll call this countries. Do I need to include teams? Yes. Click next. Enable export. Enable search as you type. Double click to edit. I click save. Now I'll run the app. So now I need to upgrade the add teams page. So I just go to outline, I'll duplicate the team name column, I'll change the text of this to country. I'll delete the text box, I'll delete the required field validator, I'll go to toolbox, I'll drag the drop down here, I'll change the name to DDL country. As for the style, I will change the width to 100%. I'll go back to properties. For the data, I click on new. The operation that I'm going to use is get countries. Click on save. Select property, text property, country name, value property, country ID. The value will be team.country ID. I click on OK. For the label, the associated control will be DDL country. Now I'll go to outline view. I will select this entire row that I've just created here. I'll click on copy. I'll go to pages. I'll go to edit team. I'll right click on form. From 0, I click on paste. Now I'll right click on the row for the buttons. I'll click on cut. I'll right click on from 0. I'll click on paste. Now as for the drop down, I need to configure just one thing, and that is the data fetch operation for the drop down. So get countries. I think I'm good here. So this is good, this is okay. Now let's run the app to see what we have. Now this is Teams grid. this country's grid. Oh, I forgot to do something. I'll stop the app. I go to Teams. I'm going to update the grid. So I click on Add. This time around I want country name. I promote it up. And the text property display as country name. So I run again. So let me update the record for Arsenal, and that Arsenal is from England. Click save. So it's updated. So this is the team's data grid. This is the country's data grid. Suppose I want to change the styling for all the data grid in my application. How do I go about it? Well, I'll stop my application. I'll go to settings. I'll click on customize theme, and I'll go to, there are many things you can do. So I want to customize the data grid in my application. Now right now the background is white. Suppose I don't want the background to be white. Suppose I want the background to be this color. Then I click OK. Then I click save. And I click run. So you can see now. Let me add another club. Let me say I had Real Madrid. Real Madrid here. Belongs to Spain. Click save. I'm not a UI expert. I'm a more of a developer, but I think this will help you, point you in the right direction. Another thing that you can do is customize the navigation menu. Radzen has closed. So I click on Radzen to open it again. I double click on Football Teams app. I close the congratulations dialog. Now I go to layout. Go to main layout. I double click on main layout. Now the items on the main layout, on the navigation items, let me populate them. So these themes, I can search for an icon for themes. Okay, teams, something for group work. So the icon for that is group work. Then for countries, I can search for an icon for country. So you have flag icon or emoji flags. Let me use this. So I click done. So I run my app again. Can see that all the grids now have the look and feel of the grids have been changed, and the navigation menu items now have icons associated with them. So I hope I've been able to point you in the right direction on how to change the default Bootstrap styling for Radzen. Thank you for watching.